This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1362. Guys fall in love with me way too quickly. What can I do to slow things down? By Evan Marc Katz of evanmarckatz.com. Hello, everybody, and happy Monday. I'm Greg Audino, your host and narrator. Hope your week is off to a great start, and thanks a lot for stopping in with us and kicking it off on the right foot. Now today, I'll be reading another post from Evan Marc Katz, another answer he's provided to a reader who has sent in a question, and then of course I'll have my commentary at the end. So let's get started with the reading now and optimize your life. Guys fall in love with me way too quickly. What can I do to slow things down? By Evan Marc Katz of evanmarckatz.com. Evan, this is a problem I've had ever since I can remember, and I know I'm not alone. I tend to attract men who put me on a very high pedestal from which I eventually fall, very hard and very fast. I'm guessing this is because I have some attractive qualities, intelligence, exotic features, and because I fit into a few different categories, which makes it easy for some men to fantasize about me. Then, once they get to know the real me and realize that I don't fit the image of the ideal woman they've been projecting on me, they dump me. I'm sure that part of their reason for ending it is that I'm going through an insecure period in my life and that this is unattractive. Also, my insecurity makes me vulnerable to being admired. But I can't take all the blame. Sometimes their passion is so ridiculously over the top from the start that I'm really at a loss as to where it came from or how to rein it in, and if I'm interested in something long term, how to turn it into something tenable. I've tried telling them that they can't possibly be in love with me after a week or a month, or I try to slow it down, but they're so aggressive about their admiration, so sure about their affection, that they ignore what I say. Plus, I don't force them to slow it down as much as I should because of my insecurity or my own passionate feelings. Then, of course, the moment comes when I fall off the pedestal, which is pretty painful, even when I see it coming. So, how do I bring a guy back down to earth the moment I see he's idealizing me? And if I see long-term potential in a guy, how do I get past the pedestal stage? Again, my telling him that he can't possibly know me doesn't seem to make a difference. So what can I do to gain some control over the situation? Should I, for instance, refuse to be in a relationship with a person until they know me as a friend? Should I immediately list all of my faults for them? Maybe a spreadsheet might help. How do I get them to see the real me, rather than blindly opening my heart to them, hoping that this time things will be different? And by the way, it never is. I always think I finally met the exception, but I'm always wrong. Kara. No spreadsheets, Kara, but everything else you're saying really does strike a chord. I discussed how difficult dating could be for attractive women last year, but this situation is different, because you're not complaining about men being intimidated by you. You're complaining that their heads are in the clouds, and rightfully so, which just goes to reinforce my same old point about chemistry. It's an illusion, a projection, and a fantasy. It's not that the feeling isn't real or amazing, it's that it's so powerful as to blind you to reality. Chemistry is what allows women to put up with abusive, non-committal men, and what allows men to put up with selfish, high-maintenance women. Alas, you can't help it when someone feels chemistry for you. All you can do is attempt to manage it realistically. Your observation about a man putting you up on a pedestal is reminiscent of my own pedestal principle, which I explain in Volume 4 of Finding the One Online. Quote, once you put someone up on a pedestal, he is immediately looking down at you. End quote. Talk about a lose-lose scenario. Not only do you feel uncomfortable being idealized, but you lose respect for the person idealizing you. Your instincts about how to handle this, Kara, seem to be admirable. You remind all of our readers that beautiful women have a really hard time connecting with men because men are so blinded by their beauty that they can't see the rest of the picture clearly. What these men don't understand is that beautiful women don't want fans or admirers. They want partners to see them in full as they are. I learned this the hard way, having put a woman up on a pedestal for upwards of 15 years. She not only lost her attraction to me, but it took me many years and a lot of heartbreak to realize that she wasn't as great as I thought she was. She even told me this, but I wouldn't listen. So I really get the concept behind wanting to offer full disclosure about your imperfections as soon as possible. However, full disclosure is inorganic and clunky. You don't tell someone on date 1 that you're on Prozac or that you're prone to fits of jealousy. Such things are revealed in the dating process so that they're more easily digested. But no matter how you play it, Kara, it'll take a special guy to handle you, one who is not blinded by beauty or rendered foolish in the face of brilliance. This man will reveal himself in how gracefully he treats you, not in how much he sucks up to you when he's out to dinner with you. Any man who starts with the pedestal stuff will immediately eliminate himself. As for your role in this, I would give you the same advice I just delivered to my amazing intern. Be a woman. A real, stand-up, authentic, no longer a girl, honest-to-goodness woman. It's not about being in control or putting your cards out on the table or setting arbitrary rules on the pace of your relationship. It's about communicating fearlessly because you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. When a guy starts to get all gaga, you let him know that you think he's amazing, but gaga's not going to work. You'll lose respect for him, and you don't want to do that. Ask him to treat you the way he'd treat his best girlfriend, with respect and kindness and chivalry. Ask him to go slow, not because you're unattracted to him, but because you've seen your own tendency to dive in fast. The right guy will play it at your pace because he has something very real to gain. So, do guys fall in love fast? Yes. Still, not every guy will pass this test of treating you as an equal. And when they don't, you must be strong enough to walk away from these dead-end scenarios, forgoing the ego boost of having an admirer, and investing your time only in men who know what to do with a beautiful woman. Trust me, there are a few of us left. You just listened to the post titled, "Guys Fall in Love with Me Way Too Quickly. What Can I Do to Slow Things Down?" by Evan Marc Katz of evanmarckatz.com. And many thanks to Evan for sharing this Q&A segment from his site. I really like the way he handled this question. But, just like many of our Q&As on this show, this is another example of a time in which I feel like the asker could benefit from more self-reflection questions. So specifically, I find myself interested in how much truth there is to this idea that men are indeed falling so hard, so quickly. Now, while this is entirely possible, I just think it's important for the asker to first wade through some of their own biases and how they might be informing the interpretation of men falling too fast, even if it isn't necessarily happening. For example, if she's going through a phase of insecurity, as she mentions, then subconsciously, she might really need to rely on this narrative that men are extra interested in her and that she's in power by ending these rendezvous, when in reality, her insecurity makes it hard for her to hang on to someone and trust that she's enough. Again, this is purely speculative, but it is a possibility. And to me, it's a possibility that should really be explored in the right setting. All right. And that's going to wrap us up for today, everybody. I hope you found this episode to be both stimulating and rewarding. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.